My name is Dylan CineMasai Green, and welcome to the Real Notes podcast. I speak with rappers, producers, journalists, and other hip-hop adjacent figures about their relationship with movies, and, if at all, film inspires their craft. My guest this week is Swedish producer and DJ Sebb Bash. We spoke about The Thing, Undertone, the Evil Dead movies, Brazil, Beat Street, his early fascination with music, moving from DJing to producing, his early years producing for Big Noyd and Alchemist, stories for a handful of his songs, his general creative process, and the process behind he and Elucid's album, I Guess You Had to Be There, out now via Backwood Studios. Come fuck with us. Just like I said before we even get into like brass tacks, how you feeling just generally? What's been good?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Just it's super cold. It's been super cold last couple of days, but yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, man. Yeah, it's been like kind of like mid temperature here, not necessarily too cold, not too hot. It's been like in the 40s and 50s, which is nice because you know we've been getting slammed with like we hit negative temperatures out here for the first time and I can't even remember how long. So I'm cool. I'm cool with not getting destroyed by the cold anymore, you know.
What city are you in?
I'm in New Jersey. I'm like right outside of New York.
Okay. Yeah. New York do get cold. Legendary.
Yeah. You know, we be getting slammed out there. It's terrible, but you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, I like the cold, man. I like more so the wind. I'm a super fan of the wind. Give me a good windy day, man. Whew. I can just be outside.
Yeah. What is it about the wind that you like so much?
I don't know. It's almost like even like when the it's almost like breaking branches, breaking tree branches and stuff. Like it's just a special kind of. I guess like every time you really feel nature roaring, just like when nature makes you feel like you're really small. Like there's something about those moments. Also the good old, the rainy days. I like to create on rainy days for some reason.
Yeah, me too. I like creating on rainy days too.
Right? It just it feels right.
And it's so crazy because right when you said that about like the wind making you feel small, the wind just started roaring outside my window. It does that sometimes, like literally on some like woo. It was almost like you called it, bro. It was almost like you called it. That's crazy. Well, Jesus, what's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to Real Notes. Happy to be here on a cool I actually don't know. I don't know what the weather's like outside. I haven't been outside all day. But my name's Dylan Green, CineMasai. I got a lot of names, do a lot of shit outside, inside, all sides. And I'm with somebody else who's also a big old mover and shaker. He does a bunch of really cool, amazing things. And like in my research, I've come to realize that this is like the current state you're in as a producer. You're kind of like me realizing that you used to produce for Big Noyd and Alchemist at a period of time, like, you know, like seeing you go from there to kind of finding your way over here. And, you know, of course, working with Elucid, I Guess You Had to Be There is out, fully produced by our guest today. I didn't even introduce Sebb Bash. Sebb fucking Bash is in the house. I'm so happy to have Sebb Bash here. Yo. But like you're really like this for you is kind of like you've been producing for a very long time, and this is like at least like a second or third act of like your career that you're in, at least like from what I've been able to see. So just first and foremost, thank you so much for being here and taking the time to come and talk to me. And thank you for your incredible work. Like once again, just like I've been going through all the old Noyd stuff, and like you've been on tens forever, bro. Like just
it's funny. That time I was really what's Noyd? It's like what, 02, 01?
Something like that. Yeah, maybe even 03.
I think it was '02. Oh yeah, I was trying to do anything decent at that point. I was trying to, like when I go back to these old beats, like most of them are bad, but I guess '02 was when it was starting to get decent, you know,
Mm-hmm.
a little bit. But yeah, this is when I think it all happened at the same time. The old ALC and Twin, Noyd, Infamous. It was all bundled up at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun. It was a fun time for sure.
Yeah, that's great. But and you're like, I wanna get into the older stuff, but of course, I just wanted to mention again that, like of course you just produced Elucid's new album. You and Elucid's project, I guess you had to be there. It's out on Backwoods. It's fucking incredible. Y'all went crazy. I just interviewed Chaz for my publication Hearing Things. We ran what we call an existential playlist over there, where I had him talk to me about the songs he'd want played at his funeral, which was a ton of fun. We just published that on Friday.
Wow. What do you say? What song?
He chose the 5 songs he chose were oh shit, Microphone Theme by Rakim,
Wow.
Maggot Brain by Funkadelic. Actually, hang on. I'm over here just trying to remember it off top. I could just grab it off the site. So
I'm like hearing the last part of Microphone Theme with the booming ass drums. Like, dude is dead. It's like, what the fuck? I want to see that. I'm going to that funeral for sure.
Word. He called it, and yeah, he didn't even want to call it a funeral. He called it a homegoing. Like that's like he's like this is a celebration of my life. Yeah. I don't want tears. Like we're all gonna be happy and take this shit in. Like that's just the kind of person he is. Which we all love that. But the other ones, it was Funkadelic's Maggot Brain, Curtis Mayfield's The Makings of You, the specifically the version he did live at the bitter end.
That's the part where everybody's fucking crying right there.
Yeah.
What? That song at a funeral, it's over.
Yeah. And then he chose it was Kenny Bruce's Rising to the Top and Maze's Happy Feelings. Yeah, wow. Those are the five.
Oh, he put that together like a project. It's like a ride. Yeah. Good. Don't ask me that. I'm not gonna have such like a great. That's wow.
All right, yeah, nah. We'll have to, we'll have to circle back on that at some point. But I'm so happy to have you here. Like I said, like outside of like the work you and Chaz have done and the stuff that you've been doing, like really over the last like 4 or 5 years, like it's incredible to see. Like of course, like you're also a DJ, and Chaz called you a sound scientist, which made me laugh a lot. I love that title. I think that's super fucking dope. And that is exactly what I would characterize like the stuff you do now as. Like you're a sound scientist. Like you're really out here just like experimenting with shit and making it sound amazing. So like that's yeah.
I do. Yeah, I guess I'm also I always like to remind people that I'm kind of traditional. It's like it's this fusion of like, at least that's where I'm trying to keep it, like this balance of like, it's not all the way crazy. Because to me, I like to conserve a little bit of what this thing was in the beginning.
Right.
I hope I do. Let me know if I sound like some fucking techno. It means I failed.
There's nothing on I Guess You Had to Be There that would ever give me the indication that this is techno at all. So yeah, and as somebody who loves techno, I do get where you're coming from. So
right.
But we're also here to talk about movies and fun shit like that. So before we get into the music stuff specifically, I wanted to ask the first question I ask everybody who comes on here, which is, what was the last movie or TV show you watched that you had a strong opinion about?
Yo, this is so insane you're asking me that. I literally was walking today and literally asked myself, like, what would I answer if somebody asked me that question? I kid you not. And I did not find the answer, which is fucked. The last one, Man, I'm pretty sure you share my views when I tell you that it's pretty hard these days to find a movie. To me, like I know people is generally saying, now it's the series. Like I'm watching, you know, uh, as far as a real movie, yeah, I might have to take a take a weird route here and say that the last thing that I saw that made me feel like I need to watch this movie again was The Thing.
Oh, tell me about it.
This is how I'm gonna get out of this. I'm gonna say that.
Cool. That's
I just
cool.
like,
That
yeah.
tell,
Uh,
tell yeah.
they was playing the scene where I guess they was playing the juicy scene. I just saw the juicy scene again where dude is just like basically exploding in many parts and like some fucking head comes out of his belly. I'm like,
Yep.
yeah. I'm like, yeah, this this is a movie. Now it's always been one of my favorites. As far as new ones, man, yeah. What's yours? Maybe it'll get me talking.
So I'm trying to think because I gotta go look through. I just gotta check one more time because I've seen a couple things recently, but the one that really stuck out to me was well, there's two. One's old and one's new. So the new one that stuck out to me, I saw this joint called Undertone on my birthday a couple weeks ago. Like a
Hmm.
week and a half ago. It's a movie. So Undertone's a movie about this woman. It's about this woman who lives in Canada and she has a friend who lives in, I think he's in London or something. They have a podcast and they shoot their podcast. They talk about it's like a supernatural, like creepypasta, true crime type of podcast. And they have somebody sends them these 10 audio files that are like cursed, and they listen to the audio files, and as they go through all 10 of them, spooky stuff starts to happen around the house. There's
Cursed
like a
fouls, man. What
yeah.
kind of fouls? Like wave fouls? Cursed
Yeah,
wave?
yeah. It's either wave files or or like a voice note type of
Maybe he
file you'd send on
compressed
a
them.
phone.
Maybe he compressed them for safe space.
Yeah,
Compressed MP3s.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, she fouls. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. It
haunted.
was yeah. It
It
was
sounds
it was
crazy, man.
yeah, no, it was pretty
It's-
spooky. It wasn't amazing, but because the person who made it was their first. I think it was like their first big movie ever, and you could kind of tell it was their first big movie ever. Like it felt like it reminded me a lot of like Paranormal Activity, like fucking Blair
That's a
Witch.
crazy fucking thing, man. What you say? What you said? What term did you use? What is the foul? The foul is what?
Uh, Wait, what
Haunted.
did I?
It's a haunted
Haunted.
foul.
Yeah, haunted file. Yeah.
Fuck. Yo, you gotta love these um these scenarios for a lot of these horror movies, and if you've been watching them for a while, it kind of like circles around like the shark movies or like
Hmm.
so like when you see the you read the plot like the synopsis it's like oh here we go again four kids go into the woods rent a cabin everything is lovely then always they got like I love the old ones too like what's a good old horror movie Bad Taste
Yep.
like movies like that yeah. I just
Yeah.
seen what's the name? What's the name? One of these like haunted houses in the woods movies. They got two of them.
Oh, is it Evil Dead? You talking about Evil
Evil
Dead?
Dead. Evil
Yeah.
Dead. Man, I don't know. That first one, man, it's looking kind of crazy now. When I was a kid, that shit like was I was
Yeah.
scared to walk home, man. Evil Dead.
Yeah, no, those are freaky movies. The second one holds a real special place in my heart. I love I'm big on silly horror movies, like super like campy, over the top, like dumb shit. But like the
Mm-hmm.
first one, being like the first one's definitely a bit more serious, and definitely like a scary movie. Like the tree is crazy, the demons, like the Deadites all look nuts. It's you know, like those were like really foundational for like my understanding of like what a good quote unquote horror movie is. And then like, you know, like even The Thing, like I'm happy you brought up The Thing, because to me, like The Thing is like a perfect movie. Like I can't think of many, like it's like the best version of exactly what it wants to be. It's just like it's tense, it's cold, just you know, like it's so well directed. Like the aliens look crazy. I'm big on practical effects. I love all the actors, like Kurt Russell and Keith David going back and forth is amazing. Like all the crew has the great personalities, and the ending is nuts. Like one of my favorite movie endings ever. Like I love The Thing so much.
I don't know if that's because I was kind of like an '80s kid, you know, like when I was of the age of starting to go to the movies by myself and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I feel anything that's a little bit those kind of like exploration type movies where it's like, you know, the UFO is hidden under the ice, the Indiana Jones type shit, like, you know, hidden temples, like I don't know, like sometimes I feel like I'm straight up retarded for still liking those types of movies, but in my book, those are the ones that really make me want to get the popcorn and the drink ready, you know?
Yeah.
Those types of movies. Almost even like I always say to what's the Predator one where like it's the same shit. It's like the pyramid is under the ice. It's like Predator 3 or 4.
Yeah, it's Alien versus Predator. That's the one with
Yeah,
Annihilation. Yeah, love that
yeah,
movie.
yeah. That one is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not like I'm not as you can tell, I'm not as big as I'm more intellectual and of a researcher when it comes to sound and movie. With movies, I'm just like, yeah, give me Terminator 1. Let's go.
Word. Yeah.
Commando. Give me Commando.
Classics. Come on. Yeah.
It's a movie, you know.
Yeah. Damn. Well, okay. I wanna dig more into stuff that you like. I want to dig into more stuff like that you were watching coming up before we move on to music stuff. So, what's the first movie experience you can remember having? It doesn't have to be the first one, but just like it could be at the theater, it could be at your cousin's house. Just like the first thing that comes to mind for you.
Well, obviously the first stuff was like cartoons, but first movie, uh, I just remember like I think I had to be maybe 12, 13, sneaking like when my parents were asleep, sneaking back in the living room and catching like the late flicks. What like that movie. Remember Brazil?
I do. I was just thinking about like legit like 2 days ago. I was just thinking about Brazil. That's nuts.
Yeah, like weird movies like that.
Yeah, Brazil is crazy.
Like even the ones we mentioned before, those early, you know, Escape from New York, like you know, stuff that it's so funny. I found out later some of the movies that I always thought were my favorite movies. When I went back after I started digging and all that, I was like, oh, I actually like that movie because of the the atmosphere that the music is given to it. If I just like I just went back and watched a couple of you know Escape from New York. Actually, it's the movie is cool at best. Without the music, I don't know. It's a
Yeah,
cool movie.
cause Escape from New York, that's John Carpenter, right?
Yeah.
So that means he more likely than not did he more likely than not made the score too, and like his
Yeah.
you
Yep.
know his synth work is super dope. Like I know he put out an album I think maybe like 4 or 5 years ago that I really enjoyed, and I don't know. There's always like he's
Was
always
it
been super fast.
was it the video game one?
I don't think so. I know the one you're talking about, but I'm thinking of a different one. I think it was just like a full blown. He just like made a synth album that wasn't related to any movie. I'm blanking on what it was called. It'll come back to me later. But yeah, just like between the stuff between like the Escape from New York stuff and of course like him doing Halloween and I don't know, he's got a real interesting mind, and I love, and like you said, like that, like the music really makes those movies in the specific way they move and operate, especially Escape from New York. Like there's something about just like the way it's like so brooding. The whole thing is like really, really brooding. And Kurt Russell plays Snake Plissken and like the very like he's definitely like a different type of action hero than you would see. I don't know. There's just like something really unique and interesting to me about Snake Plissken that I like and enjoy. And yeah.
Yeah, you got a correct. I don't know the whole leather jacket thing when you
Yeah.
when it just first comes in the movie. It's like the '80s, man.
Yeah.
The '80s.
Yeah, such a specific style. I love it. I think it's great. But as you get older and you start to just like have more life experiences, start to expand your palette. I like to think of this next one as a capital M movie, one that really kind of stopped you in your tracks and connected with you in an emotional, artistic, or spiritual way. You know, like just like more than just like 90 minutes of entertainment, if one comes to mind.
I'm crazy for not saying Beat Street earlier. I don't know why I even didn't
Wow,
say that. That's
another
crazy.
classic.
Yeah. Rewind, like that's actually anything with break dancing, hip hop related stuff, breaking, whatever I could catch. But obviously Beat Street was a complete life changer for me. But yeah,
Yeah, that's a great one.
another movie.
If you can't think of another one, Beach Street works perfectly. Like we could just focus on that. Tell
Oh,
me, tell me,
Beach.
tell me, how old were you when you first saw it? You remember?
Yep, 9.
Nice, cool.
9 years old. Yeah, it was just us, me and my man Fred at the movie theater. It was just we was just surprised they even got it running for us. It was just the two of us in the whole theater. Nobody cared.
Wow, that's hardcore.
Nobody, yeah, nobody cared.
So yeah, what was it? So I mean, outside of just the general, I love hip hop. There's a hip hop movie happening in front of my face. Like, what was it about? What did you enjoy most about watching that for the first time and thinking back on it now, like as a grown man, like just
No,
like
because
how did, yeah.
I mean, you said aside from the I love hip hop thing, we didn't. We just knew it existed and super. It was super rudimentary. So that movie was just like a huge shot of. It was like a huge presentation in depth. It was more like, look, this is all of it. We knew about the graphs, we knew about the music, we knew about like I said, it was super basic, but this was the first time it was like this huge like explosion of all of it, basically. It was
Right.
like this expose.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite part of the movie? Because I mean, like, there's a lot of stuff happening in Beach Street, but like, do you have like a specific favorite part that you've carried with you throughout the
Yeah,
years?
yeah, yeah. I mean, obviously the part where Ray Dawn is mad and she comes back to to see Lee or and he's not home and she enters the room while dude is getting busy, just pressing that whatever the hell he's pressing at one point, and it sounded like a laser sound.
Mm-hmm.
Like just like it just looked like he had fun. He was just scratching and shit. Like yeah, that part, definitely that part. It's like ooh, it was like that part where you're like, all right, I want to do this. Like whatever he's doing, I want to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, like real like awakening moment. I just had I'm trying to remember who I talked to about this. I had somebody on here not too long ago, and we were talking about a similar scene in Juice, the one where
Battle,
Omar Epps. Sorry, what?
the battle.
Yeah, the battle. Yeah, the battle. Yeah, no, the Omar Epps DJ battle, and he's of course just like switching between the decks and Like it's crazy. The energy's kinetic, and it's specifically the one right before the cops come to get him. Once they shoot the store clerk, and it's like the cops with them, and Omar Epps is on the stage. Like it was my man Devo the Genius. Shout out to Devo the Genius from Boston. He mentioned the fact that like seeing that was like I wanna DJ. You know, like I want to be a part of that. You know, and of course,
you know
like
what's so crazy?
what?
I just rewatched it, and in hindsight, you look at it, and everything he does is unsynchronized.
That's crazy.
It's totally unsynchronized. It's just like he's just doing whatever.
Oh, that's
Um,
hilarious.
there's just some music, you know. They slap the routine on top of the acting, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still a dope scene. I love the scene where he's still the EPMD Rampage record from the start.
Yeah. That's so funny. Yeah, I haven't seen Juice in a minute, but like, yeah, like you could definitely tell they didn't have like the rap consultant, the DJ consultant on the scene to show them exactly how to do it. And it's like, you know, like like hip hop has already been around for a minute at this point, but like it's just, you know, like it's just funny to note that like in a cinematic context, like compared to something like Beat Street or like Wild Style or even Crush Groove, you know, like these movies all happening within like a 10-year period. It's like you could tell Hollywood's not, you could tell people making the movies know what's happening, but like you could tell that the way they're like made behind the scenes, and there's no like rap consultant or like a DJ consultant or like a breaking you know, like it's like not like there is today where you have like specific people who can come in and be like, this is how you rap, this is how you work the crossfader, this is how, you know, like it's
Right.
it's
Right.
it's interesting, you know. But on that note, on the this is what I want to do type shit, when did music become capital M music for you? Not even you, or yeah, I mean like not even specifically you wanting to make music, but
Mhm.
just being fascinated by music and just liking the sounds and just enjoying music.
Naturally, when I was a kid, because I feel like in the '80s, everybody was captivated by music. You know, everybody was buying tapes. Everybody had like a nice, you know, some hi-fi equipment, some nice speakers. Even, you know, I feel like most people had that in their house. So you would, it wasn't just crazy like, ooh, let me go and buy this cassette. You would just get a cassette for no reason. You know, like that's the way I remember it. You would ask your parents like, Dad, can you buy me this Michael Jackson tape, please? You know, like when they had cassettes and records at the, you know, the food shop back then. This it was so random. That's a lot of people don't know that back then records were so, you just found them everywhere. So which doesn't mean, it doesn't diminish my the passion that I found for music, but it's just it was really like all over. So I'd say as soon as I was like young enough to be able to appreciate it, probably like 8.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah. I feel this is when kids start loving other shit.
more
Even
or less. Yeah, I'd agree with
yeah,
that.
yeah. So nothing
That's
too
cool.
crazy.
So I mean, just like, because I mean, like, this is around the same time that you saw Beat Street, and like
Mhm.
these two things are kind of clicking pretty close. So like, what
I
was the?
mean, not really, because you know how like when you're a kid, like 1 year feels like a fucking century.
Yeah, you're right. That's fair. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So the first cassettes that where it was like adult music, like Genesis, Alan Parsons, Pink Floyd, like stuff that, you know, in hindsight I was like, ooh, those. It was pretty heavy on the synth side, you know, like they had a lot of synthesizers in there, so that came to play later. But yeah, um, it was that around 82-ish, and then it, it was 2 more years before the hip hop thing was like where I could like get a cassette with a couple tunes, you know, like uh some Houdini, you know, some shit like that.
Yeah. Wow. Funny you mentioned Houdini. I got their album. I found it at this record store somewhere near me called Sound Exchange. Shout out to Sound Exchange. They had the Houdini tape, so I just like bought a Houdini tape.
The first
Let me
one?
actually, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the first one. Yeah, Escape. This one.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
yep.
Yeah, no. Shout out to Houdini. I've been on a real '80s rap kick lately. I don't know why. I just it just feels right for the moment. Like they were like between like Houdini. I've been on like Houdini and like I've been listening to a lot of ultramagnetic MCs lately. Like I just listened to Critical Breakdown for the first
Oh
time in
my
a long
God.
time because Cool Keith's one of my favorites ever. And like I love all his new stuff, but like I'm really doing like my due diligence to dig back into ultramagnetic MCs and like they were like it's crazy how not just like the rhymes feel like you could rap like that now and it would sound crazy, but like the beats on Critical Breakdown are just,
Oh my
oh
God.
man, just
I
yeah, just
think it
like,
has arguably one, I mean, in my book, one of the best um hip hop songs of all times. Give the drummer some.
oh,
Especially
amazing.
as a DJ, it's like it's all about the intro. It's just the horn stab on the one, and then that the 808 on the kick. It's like it's kind of like this dance of like the right elements one after another, and and when Keith like does the first verse, it's like it just feel like controlled madness, like
Yeah.
early loony shit. They kind of like, I think they people see him as some of the first kind of like real, I guess, some of the early ones to kind of violate certain rules, right? You could say that about them.
Hmm.
Yeah, like he he definitely violated a bunch of rules after that.
Yeah, he's and like it's weird because like the ultramagnetic MCs are so important, and like anybody who knows anything about that era knows about them and Cool Keith specifically. But then you just like once again when you go and dig into like the slightly newer stuff, like he put out that Feature Magnetic album, the one I think it came out in like 2018.
Mhm.
It's just the one that's got like a feature on every single song. I think Doom's on it, Necro's on it, fucking Slug from Atmosphere is on it, and it's just like just the way and I think he produced that whole album too. Like
Mhm.
every single beat was done by him, and like just seeing him still be on that grind and still kind of breaking rules because it doesn't sound like anything. Like that shit would have sounded as weird in 87, 88 as it did in 2018 and still sounds weird now. Like he's one of those people who doesn't really fit into any era because he
Right.
just always sounds so weird and like I'm the biggest Cool Keith fan. I love everything he does. So you
Yeah.
know,
He's one of the greatest for sure.
yeah,
One of
man.
the great.
Um, so like as like as you start to really dig into music and become, like the person you are and eventually like a DJ and then start to produce, when did you know music was going to become more than just a hobby for you? And it was like when it was like I'm DJ Sebb, like I'm gonna go DJ now. Like when did that happen?
When I was ultimately faced with this wall called "You're gonna have to get a real job," or in my case, it was like, no, I guess I'm forced to go for the door that says unknown on it. Like I tried. I had some odd jobs. Like young teenager jobs and shit, and a couple. It's just it didn't it never seemed realistic the way my head functions. I guess just to keep a job, I was never good at that, or to do you know teamwork in a job setting type environment. So I guess I kind of had like a hunch. Like I was like, I think I can do this. And it's funny because I always say I was so trash when I was taking these decisions. I was not taking these decisions of being more you know, I would say like I want to move to New York, literally being this terrible, terrible beat maker. I had no, there was nothing that I was hearing that made me believe that I could make it. But it was kind of more like, for some reason, I knew that eventually I could put some shit together. You know,
Right.
I don't know. It felt right at the time. I guess I wasn't wrong.
Yeah, man. Yeah, nah, like you're here now. When did you so like did you start producing first or were you DJing first? Like which
No,
came
no,
first?
no. Yeah, DJing because it's easier, right?
Right, yeah.
Uh, it's but fairly, I would say, playing with records probably late '80s, and the beat shit probably 92, 93. But I was literally trashed throughout the whole '90s. I was, I could say that I was trash for a decade almost.
Wow.
Not trash, but you know, like I guess I could say I wasn't taking it seriously.
My fault. Sorry to interrupt, but I just wanted to shout out the Real Notes Patreon one time. For as little as $5 a month, you get exclusive goodies like video of every interview, 2-day early access to every interview, an invite to the Real Notes Discord server, exclusive access to the Real Talk Movie Night archive, and early pre-sale links for all live events. If you want to give a little more, you get other exclusives like retro 60-second movie reviews and monthly 90-minute workshops with me, where we can discuss whatever creative questions or projects you might have going on. Head over to patreon.com/realnotes. That's REELNOTES to join right now. I repeat, all videos will only be available on the Patreon. Thanks for listening. Shout out to my patrons. Now let's get back to talking.
Because of where I was never super motivated to like come up with this banger, like because I didn't really know who to show it to.
Right.
You know, uh, uh, I, I guess, and when I had the whole U.S. experience, that I guess that's the thing that made me want to really. It made me grow fast. That's my point. But all those early years in Switzerland, I knew how to sample, knew how to cut up, chop things up, find stuff. You know, I guess I was more developing my ear. It was more like digging and kind of fucking around. But yeah, like from I couldn't pull too many good beats that I made in the '90s. My
Mm.
'90s stash is rather dry.
When
More.
when did do you remember the first time you made a beat that you were like extra proud of? Like was it while you were still in Switzerland or was it not until you came to the States?
Uh, there was a few early ones I was proud of, but in retrospect, they still was trash. I think it was only probably I produced this one record. People don't know I produced this one record for Breeze for the Juggernauts.
I do know the Juggernauts. Yeah, shout out to Breeze Brewing and Queen
Breeze
Heroin
Brewer.
and all of them. Yeah, 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 for
Right,
sure.
right, right. I think that was one of the first beat that I made that felt solid. It just felt like the drums was right, the loop was right. It was just as far as like there was earlier stuff that was cool. I'm not saying it was nothing, but that one felt like I guess what I'm saying is one of the first one that felt like you know what maybe this one could be a record, which is when I make music sometimes something happens and I'm like, oh, that's a record, and people's like, what you mean? I'm like, this other stuff was cool, but this could be a record. I could finesse it and master, mix and master this. It could be a record. So that
Yeah.
one record I did for Febreze and his family was what's the name? Generally, it's a
Mm-hmm.
song with the flutes. I don't know if you remember that one. It was like a 12-inch Fat Beats Records.
I think, yeah, I'm digging through my brain. And like it's probably gonna come back to me later, and then I'm gonna be like that one, and we'll already be gone for 3 hours.
Yeah,
But you know,
it
yeah,
wasn't
that's
like
hard.
yeah, it was like 2000, I think we put it out.
Mm-hmm.
So, uh, And then it's funny, like I got some beats. I mean, I remember beats from those days. Like that one was decent, and then I still, I still remain kind of like trash for like the whole year 2000 and early 2001, and then I started getting decent around '02. I really remember that. If I have to be honest, we're doing the trash or meter thing, like. It's good to remember that though. Like people don't like you to say stuff about yourself like that, but sometimes you have to remember like when you wasn't good. You know, like
Yeah.
it makes you appreciate. You know,
the growth. Yeah,
Yeah.
1,000%. Yeah, no, I'm the same way. Like, I mean, like when I started writing, I was garbage. You know, like my writing was terrible. Like, you know, like I can fully admit to that. And you know, like what's it called? Like I just started producing myself not too long ago, just on some like, let me try this and see if I can make something cool. And like, and I think it's been like 6 months, and I'm looking back on the stuff that I'm making now in the last like week or two versus like the shit that I was putting together in September. And it's like, I'm proud of everything I've done, but it's a clear difference between the stuff from September and the stuff now. You know, it's that's important. Like, you know, I'm happy you said that specific way, because it's a process, you know, like nobody starts out shitting out like the Lorax right away. You know,
right?
like you're not making Make Me Wise the first time you make a beat. Like that's not happening for most people, you know.
I mean, you know what's funny? Like I'm talking about how trash I feel like I was in certain years, but like this is still. You know, I deal with it now. Like it doesn't matter. Like if like 100 people like send you a message like, "Ooh, this and that," about how much they love a record. Like I can still show up at the studio and like on certain days and feel and you know listen to somebody that's way iller than me and be like, man, I kind of suck, man. Like you know, and
Real.
even that's good. I feel that's good. It kind of keeps you grounded. Like you know, you can't be thinking you the fucking man out there. So there's always like some kids that's gonna like make you appear old and stupid.
Hey.
I believe that.
What? Okay. Now I gotta ask, since you said that specifically, what kids are out here making you feel old and stupid?
It's maybe not kids. I mean, although there's a couple kids on Instagram, I don't remember their names. Like right now, there's a couple. I feel like I'm starting to see some kids that's really nice on some. That's just doing it like really the old way, not in a bad way, just like the regular getting down on the MP. What's this kid name? Curdy something on Pandy on Instagram.
Oh,
Like
Curdy
this kid,
Pendy. Yeah, shout out to Curdy. He's from Virginia. That's my homie. Shout out to Curdy.
he's ill. He's ill. Like
He's crazy.
I like him. I was like I like Derringer. I like Rafi from Detroit.
Shout out to Raph.
Yeah, he's ill. Who else? I like Theravada. I like a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Shout out to Zen too. I was he just posted something on Twitter earlier where he was talking about how he's gonna tell the story about how the beat for Gamma from Earl's last album came together, and I'm just like, I need to hear that, because like I yeah, just like seeing him have his moment last year where he produced like half that record, where just like, I don't know, he's been dope forever too. Like he's been grinding forever. So to see him get that big placement and then put out his album, working with Evidence, like yeah, yeah, shout out to Zen. He deserves the world, you know.
He's ill. I'm trying to. We got a couple joints. He just sent me a couple joints. I'm definitely trying to do more. He's super interesting.
Yeah,
he got a good pocket.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, and he makes all his shit in virtual DJ, which is nuts to me. You know, like that's real skill. You know, like that's like, I can't even think of what the equivalent to that would be. Just like you really got to know what you're doing to like just make a beat in virtual DJ like that.
What's virtual DJ? Some PlayStation shit?
It's like it's like DJ software, like kind of like a Record Box or something like that. I don't know exactly how he does it, but that's a question only he can answer. But like he makes his beats in virtual DJ. Like he's mentioned it a bunch of times. He's insane. I don't know how he does it.
At all. It doesn't matter at all what
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Right. No, you're so right about that. I wanna, but before we move into some slightly more modern shit, I want to touch on the early era of you working with like Noyd and Alk and like the early stuff. So it's just like in that era, like how do you link with them? Like how does that happen? Like are you like sending beats to somebody and they just so happen to reach them? Like how did that connection happen?
It was it's so stupid. It's just so funny. I just happened to make a new friend called Wally, and Wally was basically this cool guy that people knew. A lot of people knew for having the good stuff. You know what I mean? The good green stuff, the good greenery,
Uh-huh.
and so I would go hang out with him, and one day he was like, yeah, like I think I brought a cassette of like 40 beats, and he was like, yo, the only other dude that I know that's like has a bunch of samples like that and makes a lot of shit is this guy that I used to be in school with called Alchemist. And this is it. That this is how it he kind of Alchemist would come to his crib too, so we just I ended up giving him a CD or something. He said the drums wasn't good, or I think he told me I needed to like work on EQing the drums. I just specifically remember that, which sometimes bad criticism is good. In that case, I was like,
Yeah.
I guess and then the next CD, the drums was way better, so it worked. Same shit with Premiere back then. I think I gave him a tape and he was like, yeah, it's kind of weird. I could tell he didn't really like it, but he liked something about it. So you're like, okay, I take that. I take that and try to kill the day that it was good. It wasn't weird. It was just cool. Like, yeah, but yeah, the Alk shit, it was through my man Wally, one of my best friends.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout
Wale.
out for real. Wow. That's beautiful. And like to be given that type of motivation to just like push through, figure out the drums, make the shit hit the way it needs to. And if I remember correctly, the song you produced on Only the Strong, I think it was Going Right at 'Em. Is that the one?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, Going Right at 'Em. And I mean, just like hearing Going Right at 'Em, like the drums are like you're snapping, like it's very, very tight. Like it sounds fantastic. Like even just listening to it now, it gives me like in 03, like this is when I'm really starting to come into my own, just like as a music listener and like developing my own taste, just like as like a youngish. I had to have been like 11 or 12 at the time, but like just like hearing this, it's just like this is like the era that I remember just like being outside as a kid, and like it hits, it's great. And to think that it took you 10 years of making what you call bullshit to get to this, like that's astounding to me, because like it already sounds like damn, like just like it sounds great, but just to think about the fact that it took you this long to get here and feel good about it,
Right. That's why I'm always, when I specifically like a dude like Q-Tip, every time I think about that first album that he has, and I see the quality of the music they was making, Early Tribe, like I'm like, man, like what the first one came out in 90, and he was saying he had the Bonita beat since 87, I think. So he had to be like, I think he had to be 15 when he made it. And I'm like, how? It makes no sense to me. Like, I guess like some people are just good at it as soon as they just touch it and they go, like, I think for me, it was more like this with the DJ stuff. Like I remember scratching with there wasn't too much of a learning curve. I kind of knew how to cut up like to be precise, not do the crazy stuff, but I had like the right touch from the gate. So I was like, all right, cool, this is for me. The beats, it's still a problem, man. I always say like sometimes my man Green Giant makes fun of me because he might catch me on a day when I'm mad. He's like, what's wrong? I'm like, man, I'm like, I love sound and I hate sound, man. Like it feels like battling sometimes. You know, on a good day, you choose the right ingredients, and so they're easy to mix, right? You just all you have to do is EQ a little, a little bit more bass here. Oh yeah, little touches, right? And on the next day, it's the ugly duckling situation. It's going to be that thing where it's like, right, I did sample those drums kind of in a bad way. I could have done it better, but now it's part of the beat, so I have to, you know, I, I have, I have to find a solution. Like, man, like those battles with sound, like, because like now, like producers have to be a little bit of engineers themselves.
Yeah.
And I hate to be an engineer, but it's kind of like part of the deal.
Yeah.
It's part of the deal. At least to make sure the real engineer is not gonna mess up your shit too much. You have to make sure like it's where you want it to be. So
yeah.
Yeah,
that's why you got to have like a good relationship with somebody that you can trust and who generally is going to come at your shit with quality. Like, just because I'm thinking about like what y'all did with, I guess you had to be there. Like I had the opportunity to be in the studio with Willie Green back in 2022. When did I do that? When did I do that big piece on Backwoods? I can't remember, but like it was like being in the studio with Green and just like seeing the thought and care and intent that he puts into like mixing and mastering a record. And like the thing that got me, he was working on a fielded record specifically, and when it was done, he tested it on like 5 different kinds of speakers. He had like the big hi-fi quality speakers. He played it through his iPhone. He played it through this like awful little tin can type of shit you would buy for like $5 at like a Five Below or like a bullshit store. Like I was just watching him play it through all these things, and he was like, I want to make sure this sounds as good on a tin can as it does coming out of like speakers or like real quality headphones. And I was like, that's somebody who cares about your record, like that's the type of shit you want, like that's crazy to me that he was. But like that's how he got where he is, and that's what the Greenhouse is, and like that's what makes him, like the fucking go-to engineer for Woods and them. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, he got his own song.
Yeah. Before we move on to you and Chaz's relationship specifically, I wanted to touch on a couple songs of yours that I just got the chance to listen to and love, and I just want to know how they came together. And the first one is Higher Self by Rome Streets from Noise Candy 4. I hear it and it sounds like the shit you're making now. I like heard it and it was immediately like, that's a Sebb Bash beat. So like
I feel like it was an easy beat in some way because the sample was from a record that's fairly easy to find, but my bad. I just had, for some reason, sometimes you find a record that you can tell is easy to find. It's just the first time you see it for some reason. You're like, oh, how did I never pay attention to this? It was one of these. And how it happened, I think somebody from France introduced me to these guys from the Rome camp at that time. I can't remember who it was. But yeah, I think Coach reached out for a beat. It was simple. He just reached out for a beat, and that flute thing, it just sounded like a Rome type of situation. So simple. I sent that beat. I think he asked for like some beats, and I just sent that one. This is all you need.
Yeah. That's hard. Yeah, I mean, like sometimes that's really all you need. And I know that isn't necessarily your first time producing for Rome, because I know you produced some like bonus track on Noise Candy 3 that I
Oh man,
can't find. Like
yeah,
I
better.
wasn't I yeah, bro. Yeah, that's me. I went searching, like I tried to find that song. I don't know if it's like a physical exclusive or something, but I was like, you know,
Wasn't it like a cassette thing?
it might have been a cassette thing. Like this is all just
All right.
from it, because it's not available online. The only reason I know about it is because I like I found a page with some of your credits on it, and I was like, why can't I find this song? So
What
yeah.
was it called again?
It's called let me find it.
It might not have a title. Is it called Untitled?
I
Or like
it's a freestyle. It's like something
freestyle?
freestyle.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah, yeah.
shit.
Generic. It's like a generic name.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't remember exactly, but like that, but I know you guys had already like worked together at that point, but of course the one on 4 is the one I was able to hear, so and like I love the flutes, and it's just kind of like wonky and lopsided in the way that like it's not something that I would ever expect to hear. Well, Rome wasn't Griselda affiliated at this point, but like it's not something that I would expect to hear from like somebody like Griselda. It just feels weirder in a way that like really caught my ear the first time I heard that record, and I'm like, this is it's like wobbly and wonky in like real good ways that just like tickle the right side of my brain in good ways. I like it. It's good.
That's so funny. Sometimes what people feel is like wobbly and wonky. To me, I'm like, oh, that's one of the regular ones. Like real straightforward.
Right. I get it. It's like, and that's just like relatively speaking. Like, of course, there's all sorts of other shit that's, like lopsided and weird. Like I'm gonna go out on the limb and say that Bunny Chow from I Told Bessie kind of gives me that like the drums land like just before or after where I expect them to land every time I hear the beat, and it's just
Uh-huh.
like it's like microscopic the way that rhythm is just slightly off kilter, like
Hmm.
I really like that beat a lot. Tell me about that one and where that, like, how it got made and where it came from.
I think it was once again, it was from a fairly easy to find record, cheap, which for some reason, sometimes this is where the best stuff comes from. Those, you go out and you don't find the best, most rare groove type stuff, but if you find like a nice little batch of 7 or 8 cool things for like $5, $10, and when you get back to the lab, you kind of want to like get rid of the work. Like, I just found these. Let me just chop them up, get rid of those. Like I think
Yeah.
it was one of these things where it's like it was mostly the groove was mostly from the original sample, but then I got more busy finding the little um I guess the little knickknacks that I threw on top. Little, I think in that case it was like weird vocal chops, which I have no clue where it was from at that point, but probably I want to say some new wave type stuff over
Hmm.
that original sample that was more like a late 70s soul funk type of record. So it created that opposite thing that kind of it meets somewhere in the middle. But I mean, sometimes I hear myself speaking and I'm trying to explain shit. When I do it, there's no words. Like
Yeah.
I'm not even I'm doing that exercise of trying to explain, and like it sounds so cool, right? But really, the cool shit is just to do it. There's no
Yeah.
real words to describe why you do it or not. Sometimes a lot of it is just move. I always say it always reminds me of Minority Report, where like they moving shit on screen, like
Hmm.
bring this over here, compare this to that, add this, take that away, and then just open your ears, and something is going to happen in the process, and know when to stop, and but explain music, that's a task.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, no, like yeah, it's my job, and it's hard 90% of the time to like really like get at, like just translating sound to words can be really difficult sometimes, but that just makes it feel good when you're able to just like get a sentence off, or like really like bring the thing to life in a different way. So I have some, like I had a couple other songs I wanted to ask about, but I think I want to go in a slightly different direction and just ask, like, I know in his recent the interview he did in Bandcamp, Elucid mentioned that he, like, you're somebody who, when you produce, you like, especially like recently, it's like you just kind of pick up instruments and just like noodle with the shit and like figure out sounds and just like make shit sound cool.
Yeah,
you
it's
know
not new. It's not new. Like I was playing drums a little bit as a kid. It's not really new. My dad always played keys. I always saw and was able to like have a basic knowledge of instruments in that way. Like, what's a drum machine, what's a real drum, what's a synthesizer, what's a piano, what's a Fender Rhodes. I, I kind of knew was what. I just was always too lazy to take the lessons. Like I guess also, like, I always say the same thing. I'm not really trying to make music, if it makes sense. To me, it's almost like when rap came out, they was trying to say this is not music, and and the rap cast was mad about it. I'm more kind of like owning it in a certain way. I'm like, yeah, cool. This ain't. So this is why to me, not knowing how to play stuff, it's kind of it kind of like forced me to stay in that lo-fi realm. I'm not gonna become this crazy musician, because if I start playing good on my beats, like I can play keyboards decently given what I have to play on. Like if I can figure out like the key and stuff, like with the changes, I can be fairly decent, like play whole solos and stuff. But when you do that, you're like, yo, I'm not making a beat no more. This is music, real music. And something, and like dudes like you and me, like we might just love like a beat for having like a drum break and a couple stabs and just this little space sound, like. So sometimes, like, I have to remind myself to, yo, don't, be careful, man. Don't make music. Be careful.
Yeah. It's like, I get what you're saying. Like, I mean, like, I do think it's all music at the end of the day, but I get just like, you don't want it to be too clean, too polished, like too practiced. Like, that's kind of, is that what you're saying?
When you say clean, do you mean the mix, just to do, or you mean clean?
Clean, like, I'm not even necessarily the mix, but just like, I guess not even the intent, but just like,
Yes, the intent. The intent.
yeah,
Yeah. It's
okay.
like
Yeah.
this I guess early '90s Public Enemy type stuff, like the way it was cut up and stacked up, it would give you this aggressive feel, kind of like, not necessarily aggressive in a bad way. So it's more the same feeling that like a bomb train, like kind of like chaotic,
Yeah.
unlawful, like forbidden, like
Mm.
don't do this, like don't go there type shit, like. That feeling is what I'm missing today. Like,
Yeah.
although, like I said, there's a lot of shit that I like, but I miss this kind of like urgent, like, 'cause like that. I was gonna say, like, I miss the higher BPMs, and the BPMs in the world of sample based music that I'm a part of. Like, it's been the BPM thing has been it's kind of like it's been the subject of many talks for years. like how to make, as stupid as it sounds, how to make faster beats. You know, like how do you make faster beats? Still, you know, somebody like Kendrick figures that shit out, and like, you know, Mustard just samples like a soul record and just go like, and you're like, yeah, but it's been mostly like slower stuff. So yeah, why am I saying this? Nobody knows.
What's your I'm curious. What's your ideal BPM when you make beats? Do you have like a set? I want it to be this speed.
No.
Okay, cool. That's great. I like I like that a lot. I also want to know, just like, you know, since you also do occasionally incorporate like playing on like quote unquote real instruments with the samples you incorporate, like is there ever a difference to you between making a beat that's purely just you sampling from somewhere versus you sampling and playing an instrument on top of it? Like is it like, are those two things different to you at all, or is it all just I'm making a beat, if that makes sense?
Yeah, I'm making a beat. It's just
Cool.
the result is gonna be different though. As soon as you start incorporating instruments, it's gonna start to elevate the music a little bit. I don't know. Almost like everything is gonna feel like it's reinforced. I would say the same thing. I prefer the more minimal stuff. Although I might play you dozens of stuff that's not minimal, but
Yeah.
I tend to, you know what I do? I hear something and I just get inspired by that.
Yeah.
So everything stopped mattering. I don't care what else is out there. And this has because you was asking about the speed. I don't care what speed it's going to be. It's going to be dictated by this very thing that I have in front of me. You know, and everything else is. So if I have to treat it in a certain way because it makes sense to me, it might lead to some shit that I don't like because I was just doing what made sense, not sure of what I'm going to obtain. I'm not a professional musician, so I don't really know what I'm getting when I'm baking a lot of these cakes, which is why I love it. And that sounds, I have no clue. I know exactly how to do it, how to get there, but I do not always know how it's going to turn out. I don't know the end to a lot of these movies. So a lot of these movies are good. A lot of these movies are like, you know, I guess the game is for to get more situations where you can keep the cake you made and trying to not throw away too many of them. I think I got better at that. I remember times where I could, literally, even like I was talking about the 90s, but even like recently, I go back and listen to a whole month. I think like 2015, I could go and pick like 50 or 100 beats and like throw them in the trash. Like,
Wow.
why was I thinking? Yeah. But I might have like 200 that I like. So it means that's 2/3. That's not bad.
Not at all.
It's got, make space.
Yeah, no, exactly. Sometimes you got to clear the garbage out of your brain, and then it's just
right.
like, and then the water comes through.
It makes you mad. It makes you mad. You're gonna listen to it and be like, you're gonna still kind of like try to find a reason why you should like it, but it really makes you uncomfortable. And like 6 months from now, you're gonna play it again. You're gonna look for the same fucking reason to like it again. Right. It's not there. Bye.
And then, like sometimes, like I can imagine you'd be in a position where you hear something and you think it's garbage, and but you wind up sending it to somebody, whether it's like a friend or somebody who's gonna like make a song with it or whatever, and they hear it and it's like, this is crazy. Like, does that happen to you often? How often does that, or does that happen to you or not?
Not because I think recently, not so recently, but probably in the last, especially the last few years, I've really been trying to, like, when I send stuff, I'm like, look, Nobody, no matter what somebody picks off of those, I'm not gonna be mad. Because before, like, I would send some shit out and be like, why the hell did I do that? And then, of course, that'll end up be the one. You know it. That'll end up being the one that the person wants.
Yeah.
So, now I really try to like, even if I have to like make the folder, wait, come back to it the next day to really kind of like sleep on it whole night, you know, just come back the next day and be like, okay, yeah, it's ready to go.
Yeah.
Right. It's more for me because then I get music back that I like.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's gonna be easy to deal with.
Right. Definitely. I want to use that to segue into you and Chaz's relationship and how y'all create and operate, because of course your relationship precedes the work that you guys did on this latest album. It goes back it goes back a little while from what I understand. So like what was it about Chaz? Like, were you a fan before the two of y'all had first connected, or like did he reach out to you? Like how did that first start?
I mean, I was one of these cats that discovered them with the Alchemist album. Pretty
Okay.
much. Yeah,
Yeah.
I wasn't hip, you know, in any way.
Gotcha.
And then
That
once
being
again,
Haram, right?
yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
So, but funny shit, once again, like simultaneously, um, we find out that my man Wally once again, his daughter is going to the same school as Chaz's daughter, Elucid's daughter.
Wow.
And at the same time, Al out in LA is like telling Chaz like, "Yo, y'all should do an album together." So Waleed's telling me like, "Yo, y'all should do an album together," and I'm like, "Yo, Al just said the same shit." And I'm like, "All right, boom, this is it." It was you know, more simply, anytime Al like really tells you like, "Yo, it's a good idea," like my girl always makes fun of me. She's like, "Yo, you can't hold a job or have a boss, but like if Al like tells you like, let's go on some shit," you're like, "All right, cool. You'll do that at least." I'm like, "Yeah, you know, samples, records, beats. I do that. Why not?
Yeah. Yeah.
I do that part. Sure."
Yeah, no, you gotta have somebody in your corner that you listen to sometimes who's just like, you should do this, and it's like no questions asked. Let's go. I trust your vision. I trust your instinct. Talk to me about how you and Elucid developed y'all's relationship, because of course you had beats on I Told Bessie. What the fuck was the song on Diabetic Test Strip? Switchboard. You produced Switchboard on Diabetic Test Strips. So like, of course, before, like, there's precedent, like y'all already had somewhat of a working relationship before I guess you had to be there happen. So as you guys start to develop, when do you personally first, like outside of Al being like y'all should make an album together, like when do you first recognize that in Elucid and you're like, we need to make an album together?
Yo, I mean, literally, I felt there was no time between the Al and Wally thing and us having the first. I guess I think Wally started playing shit for Chaz, and from the ones he picked, the first thing that had me like, yeah, it might work is that the stuff that he picked. I think he might have picked First Light from that batch.
Mm-hmm.
And this interlude that we use on 48 Hours. And I was like, what is he picking? You picking those? Because like First Light is like I made that shit in like 2013.
Wow, that beat is that old?
Yeah.
Yo,
I revamped it a
wow.
little bit. I revamped it. Like it didn't have the subs in the end, and it didn't have all the. It had like it was at 75%. It had all the meat and bones. I mean the meat and potatoes. So um when I heard that he was picking those, I was like, so this is pretty much as far as I'm going. This, that's as far left as I'm going. So it means that I can do fucking anything at that point. I'm like, if you're crazy enough to pick that,
Yeah.
like I'm good.
Wow.
That really piqued my interest for sure. Like
That's incredible. I never would have guessed that beats that old, even if it wasn't the whole thing. But like, it's funny because like the bass boosted bit at the end is like that's like I love the whole song, but that and all the little like clicks that are kind of like
right.
all throughout, like those two elements are my favorite part of that song. And then just like you amp up the tension just a little bit with that bass boosted shit, and it completely changes the tenor and the texture of the song. It's such a subtle change, but being like that's one thing I love about your beats. And like to go back to what I was saying about Bunny Chow, like it's just these little tweaks and these little additions that'll just make something go from sounding completely traditional to like you and I, when I first reached out, I mentioned you and Ty Ferris's Fluorescent Mud a lot. I love that album, but like that album has a completely different, like those beats have a completely different feeling from stuff like First Light or stuff like I told this to Elucid. My favorite beat on this album is Coonskin. I love both. I love both of those beats and the switch up at the end, like just just like the like guitar distortion with the Amiri Baraka sample. It's just like I love Coonspeak.
I think it's like
It's
very
amazing.
polarizing though. Like I've heard people say this was the worst joint, and people say it was the best. Especially that first part, and not it's not for everybody. Like I guess it sounds a little, how you call it, like the notes feel wrong.
Yeah.
So
It's like I'm gonna say this and it's gonna sound like an insult, but I mean it in a great way. It's a nauseating song. Like it kind of like makes me queasy in a good way, like that first half is just, and like it matches what he's talking about, it matches the vibe, and then it cuts out, and then you come to the bit with just like the vocal sample and like the echoing drum. Like I just like that whole song. It's so disorienting and queasy, and just like it feels gross in a good way. Like I promise you, I'm not saying this to be fucked up. Like
that's a great
it
word.
sounds great.
That's
I love it. It's dope.
Disgusting. Yeah, it feels like being drunk. That first part, like it feels like you being drunk in Bangladesh somewhere, like out of market. Like it feels like you could buy an animal, buy a cow or some shit.
Yeah,
Buy a
man.
goat. You could buy a goat to this.
Oh, you can probably go to this. That's incredible. I'm not mad at that at all. So just but it just like making my way through here. There are a couple other songs I wanted to focus on. The other one being Fainting Goats, funny enough, the one with Breeze on it. Like y'all reuniting after like almost 25 years. Damn near. Or actually, no. That's not entirely true, because I know you produced on Breeze's last album that came out like maybe 3-4 years ago too. But
but yo, listen, even that shit is like 60,000 years old, bro.
see, okay, stop it.
Like that shit got to be carbon 14 dated, man. Like when it starts, he says, I think his first line is 4 more years, right?
Yeah.
He was talking about. You said this because Bush just got reelected, bro.
You kidding me, bro? Stop it. That's crazy.
Some people tell me like they love this song. I'm like, in my head, I'm like 4 more years.
Okay, so that had to be what, like the mid to late 2000s?
That was 04.
That's crazy. And yeah, sorry, just to make sure and this is Fane and Goats we're talking about.
No, I'm talking about the song you said from
the Breeze album. Okay, you're right.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
my brain, my brain just, that's hilarious because like that, like once again, like that's like damn near, it's like 15, damn near 20 years. Like that album is what, like 2020. What year did that Breeze album come out? I got the shit open right here. Oh, tell me I lost it. Oh no, here it is. 2021. No, 2021. Yeah, so that's like almost 20 years old. That's so funny.
Yo, you know what's so crazy about some of these old songs?
What?
Like I hear that beat go on the phone, and at the time I didn't know half of the shit I know now, and the shit knocks, man. Yeah. Like it's just coming out of a bare MPC 3000. There's no, I guess, minimal Pro Tools, early Pro Tools treatment, nothing crazy. And those things sometimes sound better than the crazy shit I do now. It makes me so mad, man. Sound, man.
Yeah. That's why you're the sound scientist, bro. I mean, now that you bring it up, what's your setup now? Like, what are you sampling with? Like, do you, you're like, are you using Ableton Pro Tools like to do everything in the back end? Like, yeah.
Yep. Those two MPC 4000 SP44. Nothing crazy.
Wow, cool. Are we talking the SP404 Mark II or the older one?
Two. I like the older one better, but it's kind of, remember, it's like a pain in the ass to truncate the samples, but the sound is way better, I feel.
Yeah, like it makes sense because like on the Mark II, I got my Mark II over there. On the Mark II, there's a specific filter to make it sound like the old 404, and like it sounds amazing. Like I've actually made a couple things that have that in there, so I feel it. But I mean, that's like, to me as somebody who like, I also don't really do touch-ups in, like, I use GarageBand. I don't use Logic, Ableton, Pro Tools. Like, if I need to do anything, I just use GarageBand. But
I want to learn that, man. I feel like GarageBand sounds ill. I've heard a couple of people that use it. I feel like it sounds better than Ableton.
Yeah, and you're like, that's like, that comes right out the box. Like, anybody listening, like, that's on your computer. Just like, if you're on a Mac, you have GarageBand. Like, just go use GarageBand.
Well, yeah. What's the other door people use? Not Logic, right?
Yeah, Logic.
Isn't GarageBand like a super cheap Logic?
More or less, yeah.
Right. This is the same. It's right. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, if they sound anywhere close, Logic sounds. I might have to start mixing in GarageBand. You think it's possible? You mixing a lot in GarageBand?
Yeah. Like, I mix this podcast in GarageBand. Funny enough, like I do little treatments here and there. I mostly just like mess with the volume. I don't really add effects because like why would I do that? But but yeah, like it's funny because like when I'm done with a beat out of the SP, I just kind of send it out as is. I don't, like, I mix a little bit, but I'm not at the point yet where I feel like I want to mix my shit. I'm just happy to have it be as gangly and fucked up as it is. But I'm sure that'll change.
Sometimes I'm starting to wonder, man, if we go through all these loops. When you listen to this shit raw out the box, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes you're like, I might be spending my days turning fucking filters like,
yeah,
no reason.
Yeah. it's an interesting you know, it's like it's all about, it's not all about feeling, but a lot of it's about feeling, you know. And like I can, and then like I get that from all the stuff you create. Like you're very, it seems to me, correct me if I'm wrong, like you're very much like a feeling guy. Like it's just like, if it's,
Absolutely.
yeah, like
Like
feeling's important, you know.
if you I give you an example. If you give me some fucking drumsticks, something to beat on, I can be that dude that start like beating on that stuff for like 15 minutes. Just I get you know, as I get in the zone type thing. So that's that's been the shit that made my beats go from regular beats to like, now the beats are like me capturing myself doing something. So it's kind of like midway between like looping, like a looping, or like kind of like you do takes of yourself doing things. You know, like you might have a
Yeah.
sample running first, and then you, let's say you play some type of percussion on it, right? When you see people on YouTube doing it, a lot of times they just kind of like they do it, and they're like, ah, yeah, that's good enough. You know, like I'll fix it later, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
so I do it to where I try to kind of really listen, almost like the way like a good musician would get in the groove. And then I started finding that adding those moments together of where you had the good take, like a good studio take, basically.
Yep.
Instead of like going later and fixing things, like have those 4 bars where you was really, you know, in pocket. That makes a big difference, because now you're really recreating music, even if you have to go back later to kind of like fuck it up to make sure, like I said earlier, that it's not music.
Yeah, I love the idea of like making music to the point where it's like it doesn't necessarily sound like, or where it's not music. Like I know exactly what you mean when you say it's not music, and that's just like, but like that's the most interesting stuff to me. Like the stuff that's not, like, obviously there's plenty of songs that are like perfectly synced and metered, and like the person making it understands theory and all that shit, and like that stuff is great. But
Hmm.
but like the things that really catch my ear in like an avant-garde sense, like you're kind of talking about, is the stuff that, you know, like people, you know, like people are just like those happy accidents, or just like
Right.
that's this type, or that just type of like, I'm just gonna tune this by ear and see how it sounds. Like, you know, you know, like the note's not gonna exactly, you know, like you might have been looking for an F sharp, but you found like a D flat, and you
Right.
play that, and it just sounds like it does. And before I ask like one or two more questions and we wrap this up, one beat on I Guess You Had to Be There that kind of takes me to that space is the last one on here, Parental Advisory,
Right.
which is just this like swarm of guitar strings and like
Hmm.
some drums, you know. And you know, like the song is pretty harrowing. Like the stuff Elucid's talking about is like really scary. Like it's fucking like parental corporal punishment, domestic abuse stuff. It's a really rough song. And like the fact that y'all ended the album with it is nuts to me. But like that beat is just, that guitar is just so menacing. It really is. It's yeah, it's like it's a scary song. Like that's like some shit you'd hear in The Thing, to me, you know.
Right. Right. Especially, it's so funny. Like this the guitar part is a sample, but then a lot of the keys is like some stringy type keys,
Yep.
like deep shit. Um, I couldn't believe those. Sometimes, you know, you like, I'm gonna have to try to fit a sound in there, and you believe it's gonna be hard to do, and like you just press a couple. Like it was one of those, like, oh, really? Oh, let's go.
That's hard.
Um, yeah, that's the part that made it like really super, like Friday the 13th type stuff. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
no,
love
for
that.
sure.
I feel that's one of the ones that I've heard the harshest critics on for now. Like it's you got the people that really do love it, and others that's like it's a little bit too much for them.
Mm-hmm.
But can't be paying too much attention. You just at the end of the day, you just kind of like splashing colors on the wall, and people's like yes, no, cool. Next room, next wall,
Word. Yeah, man. Yeah, no, the grind never stops. On that note, I want to ask about, because if I like, once again, correct me if I'm wrong. I know the two of them were just out there. I think they just wrapped their European tour. Did you pop out to an event they did recently?
No, but I do want to hit the Paris one next week, but no, I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't yet.
Okay, sorry. For some reason I thought I'd read somewhere that you did, because I was gonna ask like if you had done that, like how people had. I guess I can't ask you that now that I know you hadn't. But still, like even just like on the note of like just like reactions to the album, and like you like you guys coming together, and like this is something that like people within the Backwoods universe have been telegraphing. This album has been happening for like 2 years, damn near. Like I know I've heard about it a lot. So, it's here. I really love it. I think y'all sound great together. It's been interesting to me to see people call this a more traditional, quote unquote, like rap album compared to the stuff that Elucid's done before, considering songs.
It is. I think it is though. Right?
Tell me. I think aspects of it are, but like parental, but like once again, like I'm not hearing a song like Parental Advisory or the first half of Coon Speak on anybody else's album. Like that's like it's funny. It's funny because like you'll get people who will be expecting an entire album of like Make Me Wises or like a whole album of like Bunny Chows, and then you just got those like 3 or 4 in there that get the jump scare out of them and are like the Friday the 13th Jason like cresting out the water type shit. And it's to me it's like a mix. Like I think it's more traditional stuff, but like there's definitely some stuff in there that like your, I guess for lack of a better word, average listener would be like, what's this? So just like what have those reactions been like just in the last the album's been out for what, like almost a month at this point? Like what's the response been? It's only been 2 weeks. It has only been 2 weeks. What am I talking about? Yeah, sorry, I lost track of time. Yeah.
Yes, I tell you one thing. I discovered some people can write some incredible reviews, man. Jesus,
hey, bro.
Yeah. There's some poets out there.
Yeah,
really good. It's been like I'm more used to trying crazy shit, and people tell me like, crazy Sebb, like you can't help yourself, like this time it's more like all these crazy sounds make sense in their universe. So like, and it's crazy. Like you was mentioning Bunny Chow earlier. Bunny Chow is the one song when I started reading a couple of reviews, I'm like, why the fuck is people talking about how there's buried voices at 248? And that's when I was like, it's almost like you're like, yo, people do pay attention to my paintings at that art gallery over there.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Like, like you're at a point now, like I said earlier, to bring it full circle, that like once again you've been making beats at this point for over 20 years, and like the stuff that you were making in 02, 03 is obviously pretty different from the stuff you're making. I mean, like Big Noyd's not rapping over anything on I Guess You Had to Be There. Like and that's like I would
maybe
imagine
I say self. I see Big Noyd on that.
Okay. Yeah, no, I take it back. I could see him on that too. Him on that too. But I think, just like even something like Out of Bounds from the Evidence album, like like there's like little flourishes and ticks to that record that it sounds traditional, but to the naked ear, I guess it's just gonna be like why is this all over the place? And like, why? Because there's that like little kind of like vinyl tape delay bit on like the just the back half of the thing before the loop starts again that like really gets me and makes me smile, you know, like and just like seeing evidence. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, like I've been taking in every Sebb Bash art gallery I could find for the last like week and a half, bro. I'm you know, I'm yeah, like you, yeah. Your work is great. I'm fucking with it. But Sebb, this was such an incredible conversation. Thank you so much for taking. I'm so happy we did this.
You gotta call it the cursed files. The cursed messages. It was the cursed files.
Yeah.
Right. The first shit you said was the cursed files.
Right.
Yeah, cursed files.
Definitely, 1000%. But Sebb, thank you so much again. This was
thank you. It was fun.
Yeah, this was a fucking riot. I learned a lot. I know people listening to this are gonna take away a bunch of cool shit. I hope they're inspired by your ability to just kind of meander and noodle and figure out what you want to do, and just good shit all around. I dead appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks for listening. Shout out to y'all for making it this far. And shout out to all the black people listening too, because y'all really impeccable. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell a friend to come through next time. 1.